It's time to take a ride on the Steelers Afternoon Drive with our co-hosts, Alan Saunders and Zachary Smith.
Welcome into another Steelers Afternoon Drive. I'm Zachary Smith. That is Alan Saunders on this schedule release Wednesday. Alan, how we doing?
I'm doing good. Doing pretty good.
I want to start off. I want to talk about the schedule, obviously, quite a bit on this episode. The first thing I want to ask you is just the fact that this is like even a thing. Like, this is basically an event. It's an entire day that we look forward to as fans, where we're getting leaks here and there leading up to 8 p.m., where we get the full release of the schedule. Typically, most of it is out, if not all of it is out prior to then. But what do you make of this even being like an event of this magnitude? Is it dumb? What's your take?
People like it, man. I mean, I don't think this is like, it's not like the NFL was like, you know what we should really do? We should make the schedule release a huge deal. Like, people just did stuff. People like it. The NFL was like, all right, let's go with it. So, I mean, I don't really understand the allure, to be perfectly honest. I mean, obviously I want to know when the games are. Like, I got to travel to book. Like, I have a personal investment. I got like family members have been waiting on me to know if I can make plans for like 6 months about things that are all waiting to hear about. Like, I want to know when the games are. I don't really get that into the we get like schedule release video, social media stuff. None of that really excites me at all. I don't understand I can't really say I understand the draw there. I definitely understand the draw of knowing when the games are. That's for sure.
Yeah, if I was somebody that like didn't go to games, knew I was going to be watching every game at home anyway or whatever, like I probably would not care whatsoever about this. But like I was talking to a friend of the pod, Donnie Chedrick, Donnie Football of 93.7 about this. We were going back and forth having a discussion, and I sent the picture of the movie Fever Pitch, if you're familiar, when Jimmy Fallon gets all his tickets in the mail and they open them up and they do like a draft basically to see who's going to what games and stuff like that. And that's how I treat my tickets. Like, I literally, that's what I do with my friends, is I have them each pick like 3 games that they would want to go to and try to make sure that they get to go to one of those 3. We have like a draft of sorts, if you will, to determine what games people get to go to. So I just have fun with it. That's why I look forward personally to today. But if I wasn't like, setting up plans with people as to, hey, this is what game you're going to go to and stuff like that, I don't know, it's something that I would really care that much about either.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're not going to any of the games, I don't know why it matters. I totally agree with that. Very happy on that note to be able to report no Thanksgiving games, no Christmas games.
Yeah.
Steelers,
honestly, I don't know how you felt. I thought there was a chance Thanksgiving in Detroit. I thought that was a possibility.
Thanksgiving, I thought, was a real chance for sure. I didn't think they would make us do Christmas 2 years in a row, but I definitely thought there was a chance for Thanksgiving in Detroit. So very, very happy with that. And just in general, like, that's all I just want to know when the game, like, I don't know. Are you like entertained by like the schedule release video, social media, graphic kind of thing that seems to be so popular?
Nah, nope. I mean, I can appreciate the effort that goes into it, and like the Chargers social media team is always good. Apparently, the Cardinals got something that's going to be like crazy this year. It seems like the Steelers is going to be something like hunting themed. It seemed like with Nick Herbig and Keanu Benton, that's kind of what they were teasing there. We'll see what happens with that. But I mean, no, not really. It's not something I can say I'm necessarily looking forward to. I'm sure that a bunch of them will come across my feed, and I can appreciate as somebody that's very into social media, and even for a period of time that was my job, was running a social media for a sports media company. I can appreciate that, but it's not something that I'm like seeking out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I also I don't care, and maybe this is just the opinion of someone who's in media, but like, very differently than other events, like when let's say when the March Madness bracket drops. That's the first time we're learning about those matchups. So to me, like, there's a lot more reason to have. We already know all the teams. All that is happening is the order. Like, it's kind of irrelevant. It basically is irrelevant, except for like weird edge cases like the Steelers end of season last year, which even then, I'm not even like, Yeah,
That's what I was gonna bring up for people that aren't like going to a game and don't like. Is that something like that they would have an interest in? Is just like what is the we want to make sure the back half of the schedule does not look the exact same as the way that it did last year, or something like
I
that.
mean, I understand the conversation about the back half of the schedule last year, and certainly they didn't play well in that stretch. But like the idea that the Steelers would split with Baltimore home and home and lose to the Chiefs and the Eagles,
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
that was probably going to happen no matter where you put those in the schedule. Like, so like how many games did the schedule cost the Steelers last year? I don't know. Maybe you want to point to that Bengals game at home as like a casualty of the schedule. I could maybe buy that, but that's pretty much it. Like, I don't think the opponents matter. I don't think the schedule matters very often.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of the schedule, we got some stuff that I would say leaks, but I mean, you and I both do due diligence here to try to confirm this stuff as it starts to come in. Steelers on the road to face the Jets week 1. That has been the case basically every year of my football fandom, besides 2023 when we opened up with San Francisco coming here. I know that that's not actually the case, but it's very rare for the Steelers to open up at home because of conflicting schedules and sharing parking, obviously, with the Pirates. So they're on the road against the Jets to start the season. Obviously, we know of one kind of redemption, if you will, or whatever, revenge game for Justin Fields, the Jets starting quarterback going against
that's
the
how you were going
Steelers.
to go with Brandon Eccles. It's the Brandon Eccles revenge game.
The
That's
Brandon
how
Eccles
I'm
revenge
referring
game.
to it as. I mean, to me, that
Love
is
it.
the biggest storyline possible for Steelers Jets week 1. Brandon Eccles going back to the Big Apple to face his former teammates.
Imagine
I'm
Brandon
excited.
Eccles picks off Justin. The conversation forces a fumble, something makes a splash play against Justin in that
There
game.
you go.
But obviously, we know like the one side of that, but also maybe baking in here the idea of Aaron Rodgers also having a revenge game on the other side of this thing.
I think more than maybe. This is not a coincidence that this is week 1.
But see, like Jets over Packers, though, if you're thinking, I guess because of the Fields aspect on the other side of it too, both sides. But
well, I mean, you got a lot of factors that you got to take into account if you're the NFL and making the schedule. One of them is that the Jets are probably not going to be very good. And so if you want to get although this is a 1:00 Sunday game, so it's not like this is for national TV, but like if you're trying to build up a big game out of the Jets, you better do it in September. Like you can't put that at the end of the year. Steelers Packers will be a good game, even if Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign, and probably at any point in the calendar.
Yeah. Oh, and that's at home, so it would have had to have been in a prime time. Like it would have had to have been Monday night. So,
I do think of the 3 options that I heard for the Steelers for week 1, the 3 I heard the most were at the Jets, at the Browns, and the Packers at home on Monday Night Football. Those were the 3. Like, so the way the schedule works is the league is like every day running this gigantic computer model that then like spits out a bunch of options. And then each team gets those options and they give feedback about what they like and what they don't like. And then it's sort of like the league, the next time they run it, they'll freeze some of them. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, yeah, we'll lock this one in. Okay, lock this one in, and then keep going and keep running the process. So like I'm hearing all the time, like, oh, this is the schedule. I'm like, I know it's not, because first of all, I know the schedule isn't done. And second of all, like, even before it's done, there are games that look like they might, like, that's how you heard Packers to Ireland like 3 months ago, because, yeah, that was one of the ones that kept coming up. But then as things change, they run through, they'll like, maybe we will unclick that one and let that go back in the rotation and see what happens. So I think those were the options for the Steelers in week 1 that I heard about the most. And I don't think it's a coincidence that those are the 2 teams that Aaron Rodgers previously played for.
Yeah. No, it certainly makes sense. And same thing, like asking around, trying to get information on it. Those were the same things that I was hearing. I wanted, if it would have been my preference, I know that you're probably, I don't know how you feel. I know a lot of people in the fan base would not have wanted a Monday night game. But based off the opponent, that would have been. Okay. All right.
Yeah, night game doesn't bother me. Some people don't like night. I don't care about a night game.
Well, the person that that actually has the least that I buy my season tickets off of, like if it's a night game, they sell their tickets. Like they do not want to be out for a night game typically. So, but But all right, so that's how we're kicking off the season here. Opening up Acrisure Stadium. Same thing as 2019 with the Seattle Seahawks coming to Acrisure Stadium. DK Metcalf revenge game in week 2 following the week 1 revenge game. Also, this 2019, I keep going, I feel like I keep referencing the fact that I have season tickets on here. I promise I'm not trying to flex. This was the first game as a season ticket holder at Acrisure Stadium for me, and it was the game where Ben Roethlisberger hurt his elbow as well in 2019. So, yeah, not great. I was wondering if I should just sell my tickets right then and there. But anyways, Seattle as the home opener.
Anniversary of the Steelers Super Bowl XL championship win over the Seahawks this season.
And it would have been DK Metcalf's second game in the NFL, and obviously first time in Pittsburgh in 2019, that game. Yeah. So, what do we make of this being the opponent?
It's one of their easier games. I mean, the Seahawks are kind of in a rebuild on offense. I mean, they did get Sam Darnold, but I mean, they lost a lot. So their defense played better last year under McDonald. I think they'll be a tough opponent, but I mean, it feels like a winnable game for the home opener.
Is that kind of how you look at the beginning of the schedule? And obviously we can continue to talk more about this, but I feel pretty similarly to like last year, where I know like Denver ended up being a better team as the season went on, and Atlanta wasn't that bad as they were to start the season and stuff like that. But very similar to last year, where I feel like out the gate, because New England the following week going to New England, like, it seems like it could potentially be easier on the back end than on the front end than the back end.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll probably be that way most years, just because the AFC North is difficult. And, even though last year's schedule was extreme, the division games are usually backloaded towards the end of the schedule. Maybe not necessarily the way the Steelers was last year, but just in general, you're expecting to have more of your division games towards the end. And so, yeah,
I wanted to ask you if something that I saw was real, because I brought this up and I'd feel like an idiot if I was wrong on this. Did I see something where, I don't know if it's already been implemented, if they were talking about doing this because of like the case of the Steelers last year, and the Vikings also had the same thing, where teams like are going to have to play, they're going to make sure that there's division games before week 6, like at least one?
Haven't heard that. I can ask. There's a press conference with the NFL tomorrow.
All right, if I might have just threw some BS out there that's not true, but for some reason, like I saw that, and
the same thing as the Steelers last year, where all their games were after the midway point too. I am of the opinion that I would love for the last, like, spread out the first ones, but the last 4 weeks of the season to be all division games. The last 3 weeks of the season be all division games. I'd be great with that. Like, everybody plays their division teams at the end. I think that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and I think if it's universal, I think that makes a ton of sense. I'm not complaining about it, but I did think it was weird last year with the way that it was set up specifically for the Steelers, and like you're saying with the Bears, to not be playing divisional opponents until that point in the season when everybody else had multiple.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm totally good with the division games at the end. I think those are the games that matter. And sure, like I think they make good rivalry games and evergreen games. But I mean, I feel like the Steelers. I feel like every time I've been to Baltimore, it's been in December or January. Like, I don't think I've ever been to Baltimore. I mean, I have been on my own, but like not to cover the Steelers Ravens. Every time it's been in December or January. And you know what?
The last time might have been that 2019 season. They played them like week 4 or something.
Yeah,
week 4.
No, it was 2020. It was in COVID.
Oh, okay.
We played them there early, and it was like 50 degrees and raining, so it just felt like January, even though it wasn't. But yeah, I mean, I think that's, to me, like, that's when that game should be played. I don't want to play the Ravens in September when it's sunny.
I agree. So yeah, the Seahawks as the home opener is interesting. Then I threw in there week 3 going to New England to face the Patriots. Just brought in Stephon Diggs. Obviously going to get a look at Drake May for the first time, who I'm a huge fan of. So we'll see what that offense looks like. Still far ways to go, but Mike Vrabel back there. Obviously there's some connection there to the Steelers as well. Going right into the Ireland game. So I guess kind of, we talked about the Ireland game, but I guess we didn't talk about the placement necessarily on the schedule. So what is your thought on where it got placed?
Yeah, I kind of knew that's where it was going to be for a while. it's fine. I don't think I mean, certainly the schedule leading up to it could not really be any easier. I'm curious to see what it will look like, and we haven't had any reports about what's happening in week 5. I'm curious to see how it's going to look coming out of that, whether they're going to get the bye in week 5 or if they're going to play in week 5, and if so, what that game is and how difficult it is. I think could be a big factor in how difficult I think the schedule is. Like if that game is like at the Chargers or at the Ravens or like one of the more difficult games on their schedule, I think that could be very interesting. And there's a possibility to set up with another difficult stretch there in the schedule.
Yeah, I was going to ask about, because of where the Ireland game is placed, if you had any idea or thought as to where you think like the bye would be placed based off that.
So I'm not sure they still do this. I haven't gotten 100% confirmed. At least as of very recently, you were allowed to demand that your bye come immediately after you play in Europe. The teams have the option.
Okay. See, for some reason, I thought that was only the case if you were doing like the Vikings were like 2 in a row or whatever. But it was just in general. Okay.
Now, I don't know because of the number of games this year if they've done away with that or not. I haven't been able to get that confirmed that they're still doing that because obviously it makes it more difficult with more games. But yeah, I mean, I think there's
no joke. I'm obviously not going to answer, but friend of the podcast, Pat Fryermuth, calling me while we are recording right now.
I mean, you could answer, make for good podcasting.
Yeah, I'm going to answer and just tell him.
Maybe poor friendship, but good podcasting.
Hello. Hey! By the way, also, I don't want to put. We're recording the podcast right now, so don't say anything.
Oh, okay. All right. Call me.
All right, I'll talk to you.
That's great. That's great.
Wonder what that's going to be about.
Maybe I don't know. The schedule.
He's doing
well. The players want to know too, man. That's definitely something. I remember we had E-Rob on this day last year.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, man, I want to know. Like, I want to start doing some research. So,
yeah. Well, I think when he was on here, we knew just Christmas because it's announced by the league, like right away.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So like
Ireland has been made official by the league. All the rest of these we're talking about are not official. Although I don't generally repeat stuff that's like reported by random people that I don't know. All the people that have reported all these games so far are sort of legit journalists anyway.
I don't know if the entire Thursday Night Football slate has been put out there, so it looks like no Steelers and Browns on Thursday night. However, going to Cincinnati in Week 7 for Thursday Night Football, so still an Ohio trip on Thursday Night Football. But I've just gotten I feel like it's every single year it's been Steelers Browns on Thursday Night Football for one of their matchups. This year the Bengals.
Yeah. I love that short. I mean, if I got to take a trip on a short week, Cleveland's one I want to make. Cincinnati twice as far, so not great. But I haven't seen this one confirmed by like what I would call like a legit source, but it's been out there for a while, so no one's really conflicted it either. So okay, yeah. I don't like there are these accounts that like seem to exist only for this day. With like no name.
Yeah, a couple of them follow me. Yeah.
Yeah, no name, just like a random name, like NFL draft or NFL schedule nerd or whatever. I'm just like, man, like I can't put any faith in what you're saying. Like maybe you're right, and like good for you if you are, but like I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information. Like
that just goes to show you exactly what we started talking about at the top of this podcast in terms of like how crazy it is, how much of an event this is. This account that follows me, their bio literally says NFL schedule aficionado.
Yeah.
Like
how is that a thing? Yeah. And like, why are you anonymous? Like, it's okay. It's actually very good journalism to have like a very narrow niche and just own it. Like if you're and now I'm blanking on the guy's name. The math bomb guy, the RAS guy,
Kent
Platt. Yeah, Ken Platt. Yeah, so like if that's your thing, like do your one thing and be awesome at it and become well known for that, and like that's really good. But like, why are you doing I'm suspicious of the anonymity. Like, why are you?
Yeah.
What?
Mhm.
Like, just be who you are. If you're obsessed with the NFL schedule and you want to be like the guy who breaks news about the NFL schedule, understands all the rules and the way the NFL schedule works more than anybody else, that's awesome. I love that. But like, what? Why are you
Yeah.
anonymous? Part of me feels like, and this is, I don't indulge in a lot of conspiracy theories on this show, Smitty. In fact, I do spend a lot of time shutting down conspiracy theories. But if you'll
Mhm.
notice, the league partners, certain league partners, do not participate in the tipping of the schedule. Notably, you have not seen a tweet from an Adam Schefter or a Jeremy Fowler or anyone from ESPN about schedule release news. Now, the news ecosystem for this is different because it's coming from different people. Agents and players don't have any idea what the schedule is. You got to know, like, front office people and marketing people and ticketing people and broadcast. It's a different. So that's why a lot of the time scheduled news comes from weird places because it's coming
Mhm.
from different places. But also, like, come on, you don't think Schefter knows one game? Like, really?
Yeah.
So, like, okay, so you have all these people
true.
who have all this news, they're used to breaking all this news, and then all of a sudden there's this Aussie NFL account that has all the news. And I'm like,
Yeah.
something here feels like slightly fishy to me. There's just a random account that should not exist and has never existed. All of a sudden just springs up with this news that some of the newsbreakers are being restricted from reporting. Wonder why that might be.
So Ozzy is Schefter, and then nerding on NFL's rap sheet. Is that what we're?
I mean, look, I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just, what are the conspiracy theories? I'm just asking questions, Smitty. I'm just asking.
I think that's
questions. Fair. Okay.
Hey, the minute that we stop asking questions and stop having conversations, that's when this world turns into a worse place than it already is. But hey, different topic, different conversation. So yeah, we got that at Cincinnati Thursday Night Football. And then we got a gap in terms of information here. I at least for me, I don't know if you've heard anything else. I don't got another one here until week 12 going to Chicago. Just recently put out there by Zachary Smith, PGH of Steelers Now. With that one, I want to ask your thought. That's the week before Thanksgiving. Your thought in terms of having to go to Chicago that week.
I mean, I don't. Chicago's an easy trip, so
I was wondering if that was one that you wanted early in the season, or if you were indifferent on it.
I don't know, but planes, trains, and automobiles, they're trying to get
Yes.
to Chicago right before Thanksgiving, and so I just feel like it's a great movie. It's the only really Thanksgiving movie. So I feel like there's just something appropriate about going to Chicago right before Thanksgiving that just seems to fit. I'm just very okay with it. It feels like a vibe, honestly.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm all for it. I think that's one of the more interesting games. Obviously, be our first look at Ben Johnson as a head coach, Caleb Williams, and a lot of revamped offense, spent a lot of money and stuff, resources in general on that offensive line. So we'll see what the Bears are going to be. One of the more intriguing teams to me this year. That whole division, though, could be like if the Bears take a leap this year, that division's going to be insane. Like that division has a lot of
a leap and still be like 7-10 just because the rest of the division beats the crap out of them, even though they're a lot better, right? Like that could totally happen.
Yeah, I mean that there's so many prime time and standalone games within the NFC North this year. Just that division could be so good. I mean, it will be good regardless of what the Bears are, but if they take a leap, that's going to be insane. All four teams should be very competitive. The following week, the Bills coming here for a 4:25 kickoff at Acrisure. Nick Farabaugh, friend of the program, was the one that put that out there. I believe he's been credited as being the guy to put that out. Josh Allen and company coming here. What I think is interesting, I don't know, that doesn't necessarily stream game of the week to me personally, but it looks like it's going to be. It's just odd seeing a 4:25 kick at Acrisure. But
I mean, that's a big game. It feels like a national TV game. So why not 4:00?
I don't. Yeah, we'll see what the rest of the slate ends up looking like, and of course, if who ends up being under center for the Pittsburgh Steelers, could dictate a lot of that conversation towards how meaningful that game could be. Week 14 got nothing. Week 15, Monday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins coming to Pittsburgh.
This is another one. Some random Dolphins fan just posted the entire schedule, and everyone has kind of run with it. So, like, I don't know. Okay, I guess.
Oh, you didn't get this? Like, this one hasn't been confirmed?
I mean,
Really?
everyone just seems to be going along with it, so I don't know. But, like,
Okay.
now this game, there was a podcaster that did, I believe, also confirm this game. But, yeah, like, just back to the previous conversation, like this guy who was like, the NFL does the like fan of the year thing, like every team.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah. I know exactly.
This guy was like the
now.
Dolphins fan of the year in 2023, and he's got like the schedule release. I'm like, how does this happen? Okay, but how? Like,
that's his duty every year. The Dolphins give it to him and allow him to release it because he was fan of the year. I'm totally making that up, by the way, but going along with the conspiracy theory thing, we could just make that a thing. He gets to do that every year going forward now. That'd be pretty cool to be that guy.
That'd be a great like maybe that's the like the schedule release is that like they're gonna give some random fan the schedule, let him put it out there, and then like see how people react to it. Like them not trust, like, oh, this guy's full of crap. He doesn't know what he's talking, that kind of thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. But that's interesting. I thought that was just like universally confirmed for some reason. But anyway, I'm looking at this and just like all the parallels.
No one has said it's not right. Which I feel like it's been hours. Like someone would have, like he would have gotten some. And every once in a while, somebody puts something out there that in this crazy day that turns out to be not true. But like it's been out there for like 5 or 6 hours.
Oh well, I mean that whole.
None of it's been undone. So, like, I think it's legit at this point. I'm just mystified as to how it occurs.
Well, yesterday, like a whole week 1 slate was put out there or whatever, and it had the Dolphins coming here for week 1. Like, they had like the primetime games or whatever correct because that was already put out there, but everything else just seemed to be a complete guess. And, like, there was a lot of people running with it for a while, and then, finally got shot down. So, yeah, this is very interesting. Like, this 48 hours or so is very interesting regarding the schedule release. But I was looking at like just a lot of parallels to 2019. Miami came here. I mentioned Seattle, open up with Seattle. Miami came here for Monday Night Football in 2019 as well. That was one of the early Minka Fitzpatrick games, had 2 picks in that game. And I remember that was going against Ryan Fitzpatrick, the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins that season. Steelers won that game. So, yeah, there's that. And then at least the last one that I think we got right now is going to Detroit in week 16. That's another one I want to ask, just in terms of the travel that time of year, how you felt about that one.
Yeah, I mean, better than being on Christmas. So, yeah, Detroit's an easy drive. So, kind of fine with that one.
That would be the Sunday right before Christmas, though, right? So, like, whatever that is.
That would be the Sunday before Christmas,
yeah. Okay. Just any general thoughts regarding the information that we have so far?
I don't think so. I mean, like I said, I kind of knew. It seems like it's another schedule where it's easier in the front half. I'm very curious as to what happens week 5 and 6 between Minnesota and going to the Bengals on a short week. That stretch could be dangerous.
Yeah. Well, if you had to guess, do you think that
where's the West Coast trip? That's the flight I got to book. I'm over here waiting. Trying to get it done.
If you had to guess, where do you think the bye's going to fall?
I don't know. I think 5 or 6.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. And as we've been recording this podcast, I've been checking in to see if anything else has come in. I have not found anything, haven't gotten any text regarding anything new. So this is the information that we got for
Unless
now.
Pat Freiermuth was just calling to give you every game and read them off. Here's the whole schedule. I got it confirmed, Smitty. And then you just hung up on him like a jerk, and now we'll never know.
Now we'll never know. But also, even if that's what he was calling, I wouldn't have wanted to get him in trouble. So we don't need that. But anyways, good stuff. By the way, tomorrow will be the SN Plus subscribers only live stream. Still doing this show, Steelers Afternoon Drive, but we'll have that later on as well. So still time to subscribe to SN Plus
for today, and unfortunately, we couldn't get hooked up together. We will try to keep working on that. My apologies on that front, but
I was looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can make it happen, even if it wasn't going to happen today. Shout out to Nicholas Bober. I'm pretty sure Nick is what he goes by. So we're getting very formal here, calling him Nicholas. But shout out to Nick/Nicholas for subscribing to SN Plus, getting his name at the bottom, getting Joshua out of there finally. Getting somebody new.
You got to be signed up to SN Plus to the live stream with me, Smitty, and DB. We'll talk more about the draft, the schedule, probably about the draft, the George Pickens trade, all the questions you guys have for us tomorrow at 6. And that will be, the link will be on the website in the subscribers only section. So you go now, get signed up ahead of time so that you can be participating in it. And again, if you are not able to join us live, it will stay on the site so you can watch it later. But again, just for SN Plus subscribers.
There we go. So be sure to do that. Alan, other than over there, tell the people where they can find you.
At @Saunders_PGH on X, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. PGH Steelers Now, site's account, SteelersNow.com. Go there and read the words so I can get paid. And like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications here on the YouTube channel. So you don't miss an episode of Steelers Morning Rush, Steelers Afternoon Drive, all that stuff going on the website and on the YouTube page. Check it out. And subscriber count at an interesting place. 15,700 and Freddie McAfee 25.
Oh, okay. I mean, obviously, my mind goes to Ryan Clark. Is there another one that's in there, though?
Oh, yeah. We got lots of 25s. I feel like we've had this one before. I might have said Fred McAfee before. Fred McAfee was special teams captain and a third down back.
Oh, I mean, no, not that this is definitely not within the realm of who you were thinking of, but still going in the league despite his status as a first-round pick. Artie Burns. Shout out to Artie.
Artie Burns coming with those Dolphins. What was that week?
15.
Week 15. There you go.
Yeah.
Still
going
Kel
strong.
Witherspoon was recently at 25.
Yes, he was. Certainly was. Eric Rowe. Currently Deshaun Elliott, obviously. But...
And very briefly, Desmond King, I believe, also.
Oh, yeah. He definitely was.
That one play against Baltimore before he got benched.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, good stuff. Let us know your favorite 25 in Steelers history down in the comments, as well as any questions, thoughts on anything that thoughts on the schedule, I guess, because that's really what we talked about today. So drop that down below as well. If you're listening somewhere else, Apple, Spotify, wherever you podcast from, be sure to leave a 5-star review. Subscribe over there. Just search Steelers Afternoon Drive. Do the same thing over on TikTok, and then you'll find me everywhere, Zachary Smith, PGH. For Alan Saunders and myself, thanks for jumping in and taking another ride on the Steelers Afternoon Drive.